It's a pleasure to be here just after the movie screening we have seen here right now. And it's an honor for me to be with you all here assembled. The whole Kingsglaive is here on stage now. And yeah, I was just maybe like giving a little introduction for everyone, since the production was kind of very difficult to many others, because some of you have played the body of certain characters, some have played the face, some have voiced some characters, and some have played the bodies of other characters as well. So maybe you just introduce yourselves a little bit and tell us who you played in Kingsglaive.
Great, yeah. Hi guys, I'm Liam Mulvey. I'm the face, voice and motion of Libertas, and I also did the motion capture for Claris.
Hello everybody, my name is Newbon. I did all the full performance for Nyx. I also do the voice and full performance for Captain Petra.
Hello, my name is Will Bowden. I did the motion capture for Pelna and the voice of Pruvia.
Cool. Keep it going.
Yeah, who did you do? Hi everyone, my name... Yeah, you need to grow that beard a little bit. I'm Jon Campling, and I was the face and the motion capture for King Regis, and also did the cheeky motion capture for Arden Azunia.
Hello, my name is Andrea Tivadar, and I am the face and motion capture artist for Croaltius.
Hello, I'm Kecia Burrows, and I was miscellaneous female performance capture. So many characters!
Hello, I'm Shaun McKee, and I did the motion capture for Sonatus, Axis and Thunder, aka the bartender.
It was a great job. Hi, I'm Amanda Piery, and I did the performance capture for Luna.
Oh, wow. So I was wondering, do you still remember maybe the first moment when you actually got the call for Kingsglaive? So let's, for example, start with Jon.
Oh, thanks. That was so long ago. Do you have any idea how long ago that was? We didn't know it was Kingsglaive for a start, so it had a secret name, because obviously with things like this you have to keep everything under wraps, you know, everything's about the surprise. So Project Onyx was the job I got. Yes, and yeah, it was very exciting, you know, more exciting than I even knew, because I was cast in Project Onyx, which sounded pretty exciting, and you know the breakdown sounded good, but once it was revealed, once we'd signed the little agreement to say we wouldn't say anything and we were told what it was, unbelievable excitement that we weren't allowed to tell anybody. So yeah, pretty magical and fantastic to be, you know, here tonight at the final you know, delivery of the final product. It's it was like it was my Final Fantasy.
Okay. So I was wondering, could you maybe tell us a little bit more about like how the process was? Because people who are sitting at home maybe have no idea how it's actually like being a motion capturing actor.
So hard.
Yeah. So maybe Liam, can you tell us a little bit more about it? How the acting was actually, and where you shoot it, and how long?
Yeah. So the whole process was, there were basically three parts to it. One was the facial and body scanning. That took about a day. And then it was the motion capture. We did roughly a month or so, about 5 weeks. And it was spread, it was about roughly a week every sort of couple of months over about a year. It was great. It's really good fun. I'd never done motion capture before, and it was very much a sort of thrown in the deep end. Have any of you done it before? No. Good. Fine. Put this on. Do this. And we're like, okay, right, fine, great. But you get into it very quickly. You get into it really quickly. And it's a bit odd because it's very much... it's very different to film. Even though you're being filmed, it's actually more like theatre. You have to project more, you have to... all your expressions have to be bigger, more like theatre, yet you've still got this camera 6 inches from your face. So it's very, very odd, but really, really good fun. Anyway, you've done a lot of mocap.
I have,
so
yeah.
You can probably talk more about it.
Yeah, I've been doing motion capture and film performance capture for about 7 years now. And I'm very, like everybody else, very blessed to be a part of this amazing endeavour in this fantastic film. It is interesting, as Liam was saying, that it's like a combination of film and theatre. So you need to go, you don't need to gesticulate wildly, but at the same time you have to be very specific and more conscious about your movements than you would necessarily do, say on film and television, which tend to have more realistic movements in terms of naturalism. But you still have these introspective moments. So you still have a glance can have an awful lot of story in that brief moment. You're still allowed that, whereas in theatre, obviously, things are much more external. I think it's actually the perfect marriage between both techniques of the craft. And for actors, I'm very excited, especially with Kingsglaive and films, which will follow it, of the fidelity. You don't get uncanny valley with this film. You get this great sense of realism through watching these animated characters. It's a very interesting, brave new world for acting, because we are now allowed to do all these different techniques of our craft in one volume, and it's going to be very fascinating. I mean, I did a lot of combat stuff. A lot of us did combat stuff. I did a lot of martial arts. We all kind of did a lot of the physical side of it as well. So to see really where motion capture and full performance capture can take us is going to be very interesting in the next 5 years. I think you're going to be seeing quite a resurgence of animated films now.
So, and some of you even got like experiences with games before, right? Because I know that some of you have worked on Alien Isolation and Remember Me, and you've you've got worked on Black Ops as well, right? Maybe could you tell us a little bit more about the difference between like working on a video game and this again on a movie?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a massive difference. This is the first film I've done compared to quite a lot of computer games, and coming into this maybe in a much more supporting role was really interesting because I got to observe and see the differences. And I do think, although it is still, as Neil explained, exactly like that, it is larger, I think there is an element within the film aspect where you can, the narrative is the baby, whereas sometimes in computer games that is secondary, so it's a little bit harder maybe with computer games because you've got to find that yourself as the actor, and luckily within the film, as you can see tonight watching it's great, it's there for you more and you can follow the journey and rather than breaking it up, and I'd say that was the biggest thing for me. But on this one especially, I was very much observing all the other guys doing a lot, which was great to see, and to have in Alien Isolation I did the face and everything, but so it was nice to hear pretty much everybody is the character when we were doing it and doing the lines there as for real, and that was really great for me to observe as well as be part of. Yeah, that's great.
That some scenes were a little bit more dangerous because nearly when we were chatting before the interview, you mentioned that you were involved in a certain stunt with a trampoline, and it looked a little bit more dangerous in terms of your jaw and your knee. So were you severely endangered during the stunts? Yeah. Really?
Yeah. We did this. The moment when the Kingsglaive jumps up and lands and then immediately throws up is actually a very straightforward trampoline jump. It's actually very straightforward. However, the very first time I did it, I wasn't paying attention to my landing and I clacked myself straight in the face. And the first thing, of course, entirely my own fault. And the very first thing that I went through my mind is, did anybody see that? The second was, is my jaw okay? Oh, it's fine, yeah, it's fine. So of course I stood up and immediately went, yes, Liam saw it, it's fine, that's okay. So, I mean, by and large, a lot of us are martial arts trained, Amanda as well, myself, Will, Liam, and so it is one of those things that isn't necessarily required of actors. However, I think being able to do combat and some martial arts stunts really does help because you're still bringing the character to those moments. It's not just that you're doing something which is an action moment. You're doing something as an action moment as a character, and there's still a story within that. So certainly a lot of the fight sequences that we shot, they tell the story between the two characters that are opposed to one another. So I think if actors can do it, if they're trained properly, then they should do it. And that's the wonderful thing about motion capture is, you get to do very safely, apart from me, very safely be able to do these fantastic stunts if you're trained, if you're able to do it. Yeah.
And do you guys remember a certain very funny or uncommon or goofy moment during the shootings? Maybe. You probably. Yes? Hey, you've got all the goofy scenes.
Okay. I think I was in. Okay. Hi guys. I was involved in a lot of goofy moments. Not that they were enforced upon me. I mean, I like to think of myself as the straight man, but everyone seems to find that goofy. But the bartender, as I mentioned before, was a character that, you know, I think he steals the show personally. And we did give him a name, Thunder. We sort of had a backstory for him.
Okay.
That, you know, his ambition was to be a member of the Kingsgglaive, but he just never quite lived up to it. So he ended up serving food to the rest of the Kingsgglaive.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, that tastes like chocobo turds apparently. So no, but you know, what's lovely, in all seriousness, what's lovely about working with a group of people like we had on this shoot is that everyone got on well together, and like it's so nice when you turn up to a shoot and on the first day you realise that it's just such a lovely ensemble, and everyone has differing amounts of what they're doing. Some days you would barely be on, and some days you'd be on all day, and everyone was just amazing to be around, and we had so much fun. And when we're off set, we all talked and goofed around, and I think that comes through in the performance, because you see that with something like a film like this, which is such an ensemble, there's the spirit that is sort of backstage or off camera or behind the camera comes through, and it really does on that with the cast and the crew as well. And so it was such a lovely thing to be part of.
It's also great, just from a female point of view, as we're standing here, is I assume all of us at some stage got to play a man, which isn't necessarily goofy, but it's great for us, because there was. Did you get to play? Did you get to play a woman? No. That's great. Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh no, you don't want that. Yeah. No, but it was great. So it was all the ladies got to play men at some stage, because obviously it's man heavy, but we got to, and obviously the lady characters are strong females, but it was great fun for us to also step in and become the guys at some stage and try and get that masculine side. Yeah.
But of course, we have to talk about it. It's a Final Fantasy movie, right? So I was wondering, what does Final Fantasy mean to you? And in what terms is this a Final Fantasy movie? What makes it Final Fantasy? So maybe Andrea, can you tell us more about it?
What Final Fantasy means to me? Well, Final Fantasy in a way reminds me of my childhood, brings some childhood memories, and in a way has built up to my dream of becoming an actress. So going from, it's all that fantasy, you know, that I grew up with. I decided to be an engineer, and then finally one day I stepped out of it, and here I am, acting. And I feel like Kingsgglaive, Final Fantasy 15, has been a big step for me into the acting world, into my career. Wow. Yeah, so I'm really thankful.
And as far as I know, you also got a degree in dental materials. So are you satisfied with the teeth of everyone in the movie?
Well, we gotta check that out. But yes, at first sight I am.
So Liam, you're also a great gamer, as far as I could tell. So what does Final Fantasy mean to you, and what makes this one Final Fantasy?
That's a very hard question. Like there is very little through line between. They're all so different all the way through the series. But you do have there are certain bits. Obviously, there's the crystals that pop up in a lot of the Final Fantasies, and the whole premise of Kingsglaive focuses around this crystal. But Final Fantasy is great. It is very much a sort of escapism, and it's what I really love about Final Fantasy is the way, and I think Kingsglaive does this beautifully, is the way it melds the fantasy with the real world. And you get that in Kingsglaive massively with Aldi, Uniqlo, those sort of things popping up next to Banca Spira, for example. And these are all tiny little things that you don't even notice. Like, I've now seen it twice, and it's the first time I've gone, oh look, and there's that, and there's that, and that. So it's the way it merges sort of modern, recognisable things with a very sort of fantastical setting. I just think it's brilliant, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But
there is one thing actually about this film. I'm not entirely sure whether it's zeitgeist or whether it's intentional. But, I mean, I noticed this the other day when I was speaking to somebody, actually, because I play a bigot and an immigrant. And especially what Britain's going through at the moment, what Europe's going through at the moment, what the world's going through at the moment, it's interesting that Final Fantasy seems to have tapped on this idea of the other, of us who have this and we must protect it against these people coming in who need our help, but we don't really want to give them what we've got because then we'll have nothing. It's interesting that Final Fantasy, which is high fantasy, which is fun, and it is, a lot of generations have grown up with this incredible worlds that have been created. But this particular film has tapped into something which is very current and very important, that everybody is the same. It's just that we have these kind of boundaries that are made up by other people that tell us, oh, that person is an immigrant, or that person, oh no, you're okay because you live here. So I think Final Fantasy Kingsglaive really has at its heart quite a nice message that actually, you know what, it doesn't make a difference where you come from. We are the same people. Sometimes wars happen, sometimes bad things happen because of points of view, but fundamentally the bottom line is it doesn't matter, we're all essentially the same. So from that, I'm very proud to be part of this. I know we've had conversations about this, so I think we all know.
So it's a huge franchise, and it's great for everyone to have a game which is really like on the big screen now, and it's like everyone's childhood's memories coming true. So I was wondering, what was your very first gaming experience? What is your favorite video game?
Assassin's Creed.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
I love it. I love it. In fact, there's a picture where we're dressed in Tokyo like assassins. Liam, Amanda and I, and it's on my Twitter page, and it looks like, and he called it Assassin's Glaive, didn't you? Yeah. So I can't wait to see the movie, I just can't wait. But Assassin's Creed, I was hooked. I played it one day for 48 hours. I think I went, yeah, like not one day, but 48 hours. I literally went to sleep for 2 hours, woke up again and carried on playing. I could not put it down. I wanted to finish the story. I was like, wow. Yeah, exactly.
So what are your favorite games then?
Well, initially the same thing, but Metal Gear Solid. I remember the first time I played it, I was in my bedroom for about a week, and curtains didn't get opened. I didn't get out of my pajamas, and a week of Metal Gear Solid.
Now, as possibly one of the older members of the cast, no, when I was in my teens, I was a heavy gamer, but that was a whole kind of, several generations of games ago, and I haven't played games, since the 90s, because they're highly addictive, and I use my PC for productivity, so I stopped myself playing games, but I'm going to buy a PS4 specifically to play this game. And I'm now at a point in my career where I can afford to give hours of my life to games. So this is my re-emergence into the world of games. I used to program my ZX Spectrum. That's what I used to do. To your previous question, though, I had a good answer for that one. In terms of, it never reached me. In terms of the Final Fantasy and how this film embodies that. It's quite a quick, simple answer. In as much as I remember reading and hearing about learning about Final Fantasy on a crash course because I was in the film, which I had to do. One of the phrases that I picked up on was a fantasy based on reality, which has always been there, and only now has been realized with the fact that we are all real people. But the characters are based upon the reality. The fantasy of the world is based upon the reality of our faces and our acting, more than ever. And in a groundbreaking way, makes this Final Fantasy film truly embody the sense of a fantasy based on reality. Yeah.
So, well, we got many Final Fantasy fans out there who want to see the movie, and let's say there are some non-Final Fantasy fans, and for the boys there's lots of action in the movie, but what is maybe in store for the women? So what you think of is in store for women?
They've got a very strong female role. No, I think it's very good at... I think it's good for males and females because they really focused on the relationships and the roles, so you can really empathise and sympathise with the characters, and also girls like a bit of action as well. So it's just so beautiful. The whole film is very beautiful, and so if you just see it just for the aesthetics of it, it's really worth it.
Cool. And you have made it to Japan as well. So was there some kind of culture clash you experienced when being there?
No, we loved Japan. I fell in, like, Japan was amazing. It was the most incredible experience, being there, waking up, going to work every day, and all of us still having all that humour that Shaun spoke about, and fun and everything. And they love Final Fantasy, and we even went on the bullet train. Like, that was amazing. Yeah, Shinkansen. And we went for like 20 minutes to Yokohama, but then we went up the Landmark building, which is one of the highest buildings, and we watched the sunset go down on Mount Fuji, and it was just, yeah, Tokyo, I just love the place, the food, the culture, everything. It was amazing.
Yeah, I really want to go to the 2020 Olympics, so if anyone wants to hook me up with tickets, I'd be more than happy. Thanks.
There's actually one thing about being in Japan, which you are touching on, is that obviously so much of Japan's, the influence of Japan, of Tokyo, of cities like that around the world, but also specifically Tokyo, becomes insomnia. There's a lot of it that resonates with that. And I think for us, because obviously at that stage when we're shooting, we have artwork, we have a little bit of previs, we have the environments. We don't necessarily we have to use our imagination to fill in the blanks. So being in Japan for the last stretch of the shoot actually gave us a sense of scale, gave us a sense of this kind of very clean, very calm, very interesting, very, very populated environment, which, you know, we by accident destroy. So it was really useful, I think, for all of us to do that stretch. Particularly a lot of that was actually the last third of the film anyway. It really helped, I think, get a greater sense of what insomnia was and what it looked like.
It was amazing being it was amazing going to the Square building, and the first day we got there and they brought out posters of Liam and Adrian, and it was like, oh wow, and you know, and we were on the development floor, and then they took us up to the other floor as well, and we were and then they showed us art, like sort of a trailer and sort of artwork with, you know, a soundtrack and stuff like that. It was just a teaser, so we had an idea of what it was like, and it was unbelievable, you know.
So nice. Yeah. So to come to my last two questions, if one of your characters, without spoiling too much, could give advice to someone else's character, what would it be? Like some unsolved issue, like a problem in the movie you still have to get solved. So maybe let's start with Jon and the ladies. Sorry, yeah, you're the wisest guy here.
Really?
I think Sean Bean brought all the wisdom, to be honest. What advice would I give to other characters? Without spoiling the movie. Without spoiling the movie. Yeah, Libertas, just watch out for your leg. That's all I can say. Anything else will be a spoiler.
Okay, maybe otherwise we have to break the spoiler wall to get something out of you. So, do you have one?
Do I have one?
You've got one. The
To all of the members in the Glaive, don't eat the burgers in my bar because they don't taste good.
What you put in this? It tastes like chocobo.
No spoilers.
Liam.
Oh, what would I say? Yeah, the only thing that's jumping into my head is a massive spoiler, so I can't say that. They're all spoilers. It's all spoilers. Yeah. Have you got one to go?
Yeah, it's actually more poignant than stupid.
You.
No, you. No, I was going to say something stupid. I thought, actually, I've got an idea of a poignant one.
I had a poignant one.
I had a stupid one first, now I've got a poignant one. So I'm going to go back to the poignant one. So, thank you. I think Nyx would probably say to every major character, bar a couple, it's people and not power, which is the thing that makes life worth living.
Yes, that's a good one, Neil. That's a good one.
I mean, that should be a line drop.
And Andrea, the female magician.
Well, no spoilers, right? I'll just say, I'll just tell one of my best friends in the movie Libertas to learn to be more resilient.
Oh, no.
There you go.
The last question: Do you have like a key phrase in the movie or a certain pose which is like a signature move for you in the movie? You can perform right now before we start finishing. Yes, that's a good one.
That's a move that Jon does in every film.
Yes, the Death Eater from Harry Potter. Oh. That's okay.
Yeah.
From Heartham Home. Yeah. From Heartham Home.
Luna's pose is just always standing prim and proper, which I never did apparently because I always acted like a man. But like, be more ladylike, Luna. So this is Luna.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, and let's go and see the movie.